In this lesson, we're going to find out how to factor a trinomial into its two binomial parts. You probably have spent some time multiplying two binomials together, and you will have noticed that you've come out with a trinomial. So now we're going to be working backwards to do that. So very quickly, I'm just going to race through and remind you how to multiply using the box method. So we start with our x's generally, and we say x times x is x squared, and then we say x times 6 is 6x, and then we say this negative 5 times x is negative 5x, and then we say negative 5 times 6 is negative 30. So what that leaves us is x squared plus 6x minus 5x minus 30. And then when we look to see if we can combine like terms, we get x squared plus x, because 6x minus 5x leaves us with just 1x, minus 30. And there's our product. There's our trinomial result of multiplying two binomials. One of the little quick things that sometimes we do is rather than writing them all down like that, we just combine this diagonal and say, so how much are your diagonals? And that's helpful for what we're going to be doing next. So I've filled in parts of this box with x squared and the positive 15. So where's my negative 16 in this box? Well, if you'll remember, this middle term here was a result of combining my two diagonals. So I'm going to say that these two right here need to add up to be negative 16x. So how do all kinds of things can add up to be negative 16x. So how do I help narrow that down? Well, you do that by saying, I want to find out, if I go back to the other one, if you'll notice, I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to be negative 30, but those same two numbers added to be 1x. So in this one, I'm looking for two numbers, there's a 1 in front here, I'm looking for two numbers that multiply, just put a little asterisk for multiply to be 15, but those same two numbers add to be negative 16. So let's start by thinking of some numbers that multiply to be 15. That's probably the easiest way to do that. Well, I know that 3 and 5 add to be multiply to be 15, but I also know that negative 3 and negative 5. But if I add 3 and 5, I get 8, and if I add negative 3 and negative 5, I get negative 8, so those aren't particularly helpful, so I'll just keep on going. What other things multiply to be 15? Well, it looks like 1 and 15, or negative 1 times, negative 15, multiply to be 15 as well. Let's see, which one do I want them to add up to be negative 16, so I guess that's going to be that. I can cross that off. So now I know that this is going to be negative 1x, and this is negative 15x. It really doesn't matter. You can totally put those in the other, reverse how you put those. It really doesn't matter. The trick to this is, no, it's not a trick. The part that we really want to work with now is finding the common factors. So to help us find our binomial pieces, we're going to be looking in this direction. So we're looking what's common to 15x squared and 15x and x squared. Looks like the only thing that's common is an x. So I'm just going to put an x right there. And now I'm going to go in this column, and I'm going to say what's common in this column. And for 15 and negative 1, there's not a lot. It looks like just 1. So I'm going to put a 1 there, but I don't know yet if that's supposed to be a positive or a negative. We'll work on that. If I go in this direction, it looks like common is just x. And if I go in this direction, it looks like 15 is common. So now here's where I have to think about, do I make my 15 and my 1 positive, negative, what do I do? Well, we say 15 times 1 is 15. That works. But what if I said x times 1 is negative 1x? Does that work? Nope. So this must have to be a negative 1. How about 15 times x? Does that come out to be negative 15x? Nope. So that means this is negative 15. So now we know what our two binomial factors are. So we went from a trinomial to two binomials. I think Mr. Harney likes to call this try to bi. So we have x minus 1 times x minus 15 is the same as x squared minus 16x plus 15. It's just written in a different format.